Today we teach about components of GUI window, lesson number 6 of standard 9. Components of GUI window. With most other operating system, we are limited to using only one full screen at a time. Thus, we your work call for using multiply large windows at a time. You are forced to constantly juggle between the windows or to resize them to smaller size so as to be able to see multiply window on the screen at a time. A window has a title bar at the top of the contains its title and some buttons. If you need to open a large number of windows, arranging this window and switching between the windows become very tedious. Linux does not suffer from this problem apart from having multiple graphical screens. Even single graphical screen can have any number of workspaces. Each workspace is like a logical monitor on which to display our windows. Thus, we can have multiple full screen windows open in different workspaces at a time. If we open many windows, we may also group our windows according to type or use in different workspace so that all the windows do not clutter a single workspace. Unix are Unix-like system including Linux accept a three-button mouse, a mouse having a left button, a right button, and a middle mouse button. Some mice do actually have three buttons, while many others allow us to press the scroll wheel as if it were the middle mouse button. Some windows are not resizable, their size cannot be changed. Most windows, however, can be resized. Although Linux supports the use of multiple monitor with a single system. Most people have a single system, and most of the times user tend to open multiple windows. A window may also have a status bar at the bottom of a status window may also have a status bar at the bottom for display. Each window are wide and cannot be displayed entirely in the current width of the window. It automatically acquires a horizontal scroll bar at the bottom for moving the content horizontally. Some laptops provides a horizontal scroll region on the trackpad to operate the horizontal scroll bar. Similarly, if the contents of the window are too long to be displayed entirely in the current height of the window, it automatically acquires a vertical scroll bar on the right side that can that can be used to move the content up or down when the scroll wheel on the mouse is rotated. It operates this scroll bar, the vertical scroll region on the trackpad of a laptop also operates this scroll bar. One may move the mouse pointer to any border or corner of the window. Press the left mouse button when the shape of the mouse pointer changes. Drag the mouse pointer. Move the mouse while keeping the button pressed to change the size of the windows. In Ubuntu, a window can be minimized a state in which it occupies no space on the restore. Its size changed to the size it had before the last minimize or maximize operation. Maximize horizontally if occupies the full width of the desktop while its heights remain maximized vertically. It occupies the full height of the desktop while its widths remain same or maximized in both the direction, in which case it occupies the entire desktop region. All these options are available in the system menu. One can minimize or open window by pressing super plus D, and the window can later be stored by pressing super plus D again. If your keyboard does not have the super key, try Ctrl plus Alt plus D. Ubuntu version up to and including 10.10 use the GNOME2 desktop by default. Next, Linux terminal. While working with the GUI often, we feel the need to use CLI to type some command or to run some scripts. X Extreme is a graphical emulator of the text mode terminal. It provides several over the standard text mode screen like multicolor display. Many text mode terminal also have this facility. It provides several enhancement over the standard text mode screen like multicolor display. Many text mode terminals also have the facility, the ability to select the default foreground and background colors, font style, font size, etc. It also allows us to select and copy text in any program and paste it in a terminal. So, if we find some complex command on a web page or in a manual, we may simply copy it and paste it in our terminal. We don't have to go for tedious and error prone retyping. Next, directory. Every interactive user in Ubuntu is accepted to have a home directory. Typically, a directory with the same name as the username inside the /home directory. A user has full rights to perform any operation on any file or directory inside one's home directory. User's home directory is generally not accessible to another user. The user's home directory is also used to store the user personal performance and configuration choices that apply only to that user and not to the whole system. User types in Ubuntu. As Linux is a security conscious operating system, different users are given the rights to perform different operations. The superuser. Every Linux system has a superuser, additionally called root, who has all the rights and can do anything and everything in the system. However, logging in and working as the superuser is extremely risky. For example, you may permanently delete some important file or directory by mistake, and the whole system may become unusable. Because of such danger associated with superuser login, the superuser account is locked by default on modern Linux system. The normal user. The second type of users is normal user. These users can run common software and have modification rights only to their home directory. But this configuration setting will be stored in their home directory and will only apply to them, not to other user or the whole system. They cannot see other users' home directory or interface with their works. They only can the administrative users. The third category of users is administrative users to prevent un, unit, unintentional damage. This user also start out as normal user only. In the CLI, they execute the program with either of the commands sudo for text mode command or gk sudo for graphical mode commands. These commands, when run for the first time, promote the user for their password as an additional security measure and remember the same for about 15 minutes, after which they promote again for the password. Then they check whether the user is indeed an administrator user or not. If the user is indeed an administrator user, the indicated program is run with super privileges. Otherwise, an error message is displayed. In essence, even an administrator user remains or ordinary user except for those commands that are run with sudo or gk-sudo. Next, getting help. Learning new software often requires some help. Ubuntu comes bundled with same basic document accessible from the GUI. For most of the command in the CLI mode, it provides online manual accessible straight from the CLI through the support provided by Canonical. Support term is commercial and their chief source of income. They do have substantial online document. The Ubuntu user community all contributes to help others.